everyone, it's Simmer Hills here and I'm back building in The Sims 4. This time we're in Windenburg and we are doing a refurbishment of Factory 1. I have bought the Sims 4 for rent and I was quite excited about this because I do like doing multiple lots in a single lot, but not I have kept up with the Sims news and I'm not really doing what I've seen other people do, which is a lot of apartments. These are more like neighbours, but it's a factory. It was originally a factory that had been converted into one long. It had friends living in it, but I thought this would be better as a refurbishment in separate lots. So we've got 3 individual houses that fill what was originally the factory, but they're in 3 different styles as well, which I kind of like doing as well, just mixing it up, seeing what you can create out of this space. So the first house that you can see on screen now is a family house. It's kind of got some of the original features, so there's a couple of exposed brick walls, but they've been painted, so I think one of them is like a whitewash wall, and then there's a couple of featured dark brick walls as well, which is quite a nice contrast. This I was gonna have, like, because this had the side bit, I was gonna have a garden there, but I decided to extend it because it's a family home as well. I thought the extra space would be quite nice in this lot. So it's got the extra space at the side, and it just made more sense to have it rather than a garden, because then you've got 3 doors and it's really hard to furnish it when there's so many doors. So yeah, I went for open plan but distinct areas. So you've got the kitchen segregated by like a half wall, and then a dining room off the kitchen, and the living room's at the front, but it is all open, so you can see the kitchen. It doesn't stay this light, although I did really like this pale green colour, but because it was an industrial build, I just didn't think it really went with the style of the build. So as much as I love this colour, I went for the darker kitchen, and I think it suits the build more than, even though I actually prefer this colour, but I thought for the build I think the dark kitchen just suits the build more. And then I've added colour through like the softer furnishings, so like the sofa, and little trinkets that I've put in as well. They add the colour rather than the kitchen being the colour. So I always do try and think about the actual building as well. So if it's a modern build, something like this would be perfect, but because it is an older style building, I just think the units and everything have to be sympathetic to the building as well. So yeah, as I was saying, the 3 different styles. One of the renovations I haven't put on film, and it's just because this video is so long already. I think it's about 50 minutes in total, so I apologise for it being so long, but it was quite a detailed reno. So the final one I was going to leave empty, but I was really enjoying building again in The Sims because I haven't done it for quite a long time. So I have refurbished the 3rd lot, but I haven't filmed it. But I have put some screenshots in the end, and if you do want to download this build, you can just go onto the Sims 4 gallery and search for Simmer Hills, and you can have a look at it, and if you want to use the build, feel free to use it, or you could maybe restyle the 3rd one to something more your style. So this one is kind of like modern furnishings, but with some exposed features of the original factory. The second, or the middle lot is very industrial, so it's kept all of the features of the factory, and then I think it looks kind of modern but industrial. So I really like the middle style building. It's probably one of my favourites. But this one's definitely more family oriented. So there's some softer bits like the pictures, the rug and the furnishings are all the softer features. But then the kitchen looks quite industrial, I would say. So I've tried to keep it, all of them, with little touches. The third one probably not, it's a bit more like old fashioned. An older couple maybe have got that one. So that one is definitely not not in keeping with the building, but I just thought it was a cute little house for maybe somebody who's retired or something like that. So that's the final one. I won't go into it because I didn't film that one, so I won't go into it too much. But yeah, I did really enjoy doing this, and I love the new For Rent pack. I know it's got its issues with gameplay, but I'm more into the building side of it, and I like the idea of having separate budgets for individuals living on a lot, because I've always built things. So I've built a few different single lots that I've split into different apartments or houses, and now you can have separate budgets for each of those people, which is the way I'd like to play. So that is something that I enjoy. I haven't played with the landlord feature because it's not something I would do, but I do like the separate lots with the separate budgets. I wish there wasn't loading screens in between each one, but I understand that's something they have to do, probably because of the original coding of the game. I'm not really sure, but that's something I can live with. But I do like the separate budgets, so that is something I've enjoyed using. I have played a little bit with it, but not as the landlord. I was having a few little glitches with it, but just for something that I would maybe, I don't know, I try not to get too grumpy about it, because it's something I come back to, but I like the gameplay of having individual families, but they're like a little community as well. So that's the way I'm trying to look at it. And I know there's a lot of problems with the Sims 4, but that's the way I've looked at it. And for the building and everything like that, I think I enjoy this pack. I didn't buy the horse ranch pack. It wasn't really something I was interested in, and I had a look at the build items. It was a lot more old-fashioned type and country. It was geared up towards the horses, and it was a bit more. It just wasn't really build things that I would use, so I didn't buy that one. So nothing against the horse pack, but it just, I wasn't interested in horses, and it wasn't something I really wanted to buy. So for me, that pack was just didn't interest me enough to come back to The Sims. But this pack was definitely more up my street. It's more geared up towards builders, I think. So this one brought me back after actually quite a long time away from The Sims. So I'm enjoying building again in The Sims, and something that going forward that I want to do is change it up. Like, I get bored if I'm just playing one game. So something I'm really excited about this year is Life by You is coming out. So I'm going to be playing Life by You, hopefully building in Life by You. The graphics, I know, are not as aesthetically pleasing as The Sims 4, but I think it's got a lot more potential because you've got a lot more freedom. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do with Life by You, and I know it's going to have a lot of potential to customise it, and that is really what I love to do. I like to customise things exactly the way I like them, so I'm hoping to do that in that game, and everything I've seen about it seems to be positive. It looks a little bit more like the Sims 3 graphics, if I'm honest, but graphics aren't everything. It's got to be a whole package, and I think that's what Life by You is. I think it's got the core there to make it a good game. Something else I want to bring onto the channel is Planet Zoo. I love building in Planet Zoo, love creating the habitats, and it's one of those games you can keep going back to. You can come away from it, go back to it, and that's the kind of games that I really like. So I'm thinking, because I'm not the type of person that just likes to do one thing, I thought, why should I? Like, I should just do what I enjoy. That's the way to convey what you really think about games. So I'm gonna keep coming back to games and then chopping and changing and seeing what people like, but also doing things that I enjoy playing. So some of the ones I'm thinking about bringing to the channel is Life by You, Planet Zoo, and Dinkum. Dinkum is a game I just really enjoy. It's something where you can be creative. There's not as many items in it, but you can be so creative with the ones that are in it, and just having this blank space and transforming it is something I really enjoy. It's like an Australian version of Animal Crossing, but the map is a lot bigger. It's really vast, the space that you've got. And I've only done, on my current map, I've only done one of the smaller islands, and then I've extended building to one of the nearer islands. And I've seen people who've done whole map transformations, and it's so cool what people do with limited resources. And I just find it fascinating that you know, when you can just be creative with fewer items, it's amazing what you can come up with. And I like the whole, I just think it's a wholesome game. And yeah, I don't know, Dinkum, I've spent so many hours on Dinkum. I love the little characters, although trying to keep the character friendships is something I've given up with, because if you don't speak to somebody for a couple of days, you start losing hearts, and that for me, you know, I think if you've built up the friendship should be there. So that for me is, yeah, I wouldn't focus on that part of the game for me personally. Some people might enjoy that, but for me, I just think it's about having a really nice island. There is farming in the game, but the farming is a bit clunky, so I think there's better aspects of the game to focus on. So yeah, that's a game that I love, and something I'd like to bring to the channel. But yeah, if you've got any other games that you think would fit with those I'll try and speak, with those type of games that I already like, let me know. I'm always on the lookout for like cozy, casual games, anything that you can be creative in. I really like creative games. Something I'm playing at the minute, which probably doesn't fit the other games that I'm playing, but I've enjoyed it, is a game called Chef Life. You have to start a restaurant, and you're kind of cooking the meals, then you get other chefs in eventually who can help you, and it's about building it up and you've got to manage the budget well as well, because if you go bankrupt, if you don't have enough money for the ingredients, you basically can't continue in the game. and I've had to start the game twice because I've run out of money. I realised the best way to do it is not buy anything at the end of the shift, not buy anything at the beginning of the shift, get your ingredients, and then whatever you've got left over you can use towards upgrading equipment. Well, buying extra equipment, because you need more than one cooker, for example. So I've kind of learned as I've gone along, but I've been really enjoying it, and it's not particularly a creative game, although you can replick dishes and make them look pretty. That bit's kind of creative, but it's more about management, and yeah, I've really enjoyed that game. So that's another one that I could bring on the channel, but I'm not sure if people would be interested in that because it's a little bit different. It's yeah, it's just a bit different, that one. So anyway, I went a bit off topic there, but back to the build. The upstairs in this particular lot, I really found the layout tricky, and I was trying not to make it too much of a maze with the walls, because also the back balcony and the front balcony, I think if I didn't have those it would be in a really easy layout, but because of those I was trying to make it so that there was a reason to have that balcony, so you went off it from a certain room. That's where the struggle came in, and I was trying to fit a bathroom in, and yeah, I don't know why I struggled so much with the layout, but it became a problem for me. So we've got this big family bathroom on this floor. There's a master bedroom, or a main bedroom, whichever you like to call it. There's an office, but that could be changed into another bedroom, and then the loft space is a bedroom for 2 children, and there is an ensuite bathroom for them, which is the bathroom I'm creating now. So you've got 2 children with their own bathroom, and then you've got the main bathroom downstairs, which I suppose could be for guests and for the main bedroom as well. And like I said, I currently made it an office, but you could make it into like an activity room or another bedroom depending on who you'd want to move into this build. So that's what I chose to do with it, but I just think you could do or you could make the upstairs the activity room rather than another bedroom. The only really annoying thing I find with these loft rooms is the roof. So yeah, you either have to have the walls down or you can see bits of the roof, which it bugs me quite a lot. I wish you just didn't see the roof and you could still have the walls up, but it's just the way the roof was created originally, and I know when I've done builds like this it is a bit of a bugbear of mine, but I don't know. I think you would have to recreate the roof and have the very top bit being a separate roof, and then you wouldn't see it, and then create another roof that's in line with the walls. But to be honest, I just couldn't be bothered to do it. But it is annoying when you're trying to build in it, because you keep seeing the roof, and it's really hard to try and build while it's blocking out bits of the room. So anyway, I don't know why it bugs me, but it does. I created like an L-shaped wardrobe because obviously you've got 2 teenagers. Well, I imagine this room for being a teenager and a younger sibling, but because there's 2 of them, I thought they do need a wardrobe each, but I didn't want to take up too much of the room, so I created like an L-shaped wardrobe which shields the view of the bathroom as well. So you've got like this little changing area next to the bathroom, which I thought would be quite nice for a teenager. And then I've got like the crafty stuff for the teenager, a couple of things either they've created or a little area for where they can hang things up next to the bed. And then the younger child's got like the toys, the picture area that they can do drawings, a couple of teddies and things like that. So they've got their own things at each side of the room, and the teenagers obviously got jewellery and makeup and stuff next to the bed as well. So I've added quite a few little things for the kids upstairs. So we're going to start on the master bedroom now. I really like the way the master bedroom finishes off, but I did struggle with this room. It's a bit of an awkward shape, and for a main bedroom, it's probably not the biggest room really. I mean, for the UK it's not a bad size for a main bedroom, to be honest, but when you see the American homes, obviously they're a lot bigger than ours. So I tried to make the most of the space that was available and still tried to make it feel luxurious, because I wanted it to have that feel of, you know, if you've bought a renovation of a factory lot, you would think the space would be pretty decent. So I wanted to make it feel luxurious, even though the space is a bit limited in in this build. But I think because I've tried to fit like 3 rooms into it, maybe just one big bedroom on this floor and the big bedroom upstairs would have been better. But obviously I also needed access to that back balcony, so yeah, I struggled a little bit with this one, I've got to admit, but I do like the way this one finishes. It looks very, I think the accents to the room and stuff look expensive, so it feels luxurious for whoever you move into it. It does feel luxurious. They've got the wardrobe area, they've got a little they've got that area behind the bed. I think that makes the room. So you've got these like built-in drawers behind the bed and shelves to add some, you know, you can have your little decorations depending on which sim. You could change out what I've put in there. I tried to make it colour coordinated, but you might just want some trinkets that mean something to your sims. I love this mirror. I don't even know what pack it's from, but I love that mirror. It looks kind of old, maybe it's been restored or something. I think I actually ended up changing that mirror out later on anyway, and I put a mirror on the wall instead, and then added a bookshelf so that all the space is utilised as much as possible, so you can fit as much. You need skill building things in there as well as stuff that looks aesthetically pleasing, because obviously with the gameplay of The Sims they need to have some items that they can interact with. I did want a shelf or something on this wall, but because of the limited space around the bed I needed something that was quite flat, so I didn't end up going for a shelf, and I just thought the mirrors made the room look bigger. So, and I think it makes the windows that are up there look less awkward because it's like it's all framed. So you've got the mirrors right up to the windows, and then anyway it fits the room, I think. So it makes, I've tried to make the most of each area in the room, and because the Sims need room to walk around the bed, I had to try and keep it as tight against everything as tight against the wall as I could. Obviously if I'd have moved the bed back and not had the area behind it, I would have had a bit of room at the end, but I just think without that it wouldn't look like a special room. It would be quite plain. I suppose you could have decorated it with paper or something, but I just wanted something a bit, it stood out a little bit. So this is what I end up with. I do actually change the wallpaper at the back, but again I just think these extra little touches just add to the room and make it feel a bit more special. So I'm pleased with the way it turned out, and it took me a while to figure this room out, just because obviously you've got the 2 doors as well, so it feels like a corridor. I find things like that a little bit difficult, because if you put something in the middle of the room, Sims are having to walk around these objects, and it can end up feeling a bit awkward. But I didn't want the balconies to just be decoration. I wanted them to be able to use that space as well. So that that becomes a compromise, because obviously if that was just a normal room with a window, you could use that space probably easier. but with the door, you obviously need access, so it's a compromise either way, I think, because either you lose the space on the balcony or you lose the space in the room. So anyway, I just thought with the balcony space you could have some skill building activities out there as well, and then I've tried to make the best of the space in the bedroom as well. This is the office. We're moving on to the office now. It does change quite a few times. It goes different colours. The one thing I did stick with was this desk, and I debated whether to use it because it's got the see-through panel, so it'd be better off in the middle of the room to let light through, but I really liked this desk. I thought you can add a few homemade trinkets on, and plus it goes with any kind of decoration because it's just plain, it's white. I thought this could go in any type of room, so that's one thing that did stay the same. I'm just trying to use all these little areas as well, because I think this one looks like this build anyway. I call it house 1 in this row. I think it looks like the one that's had the most spent on it, so they've done it up more than maybe the other two. So I wanted to customise this one a little bit more. That's why it's got like the whitewash walls on the outside, and then it's got a bit more detail on the balcony. Like they've spent a bit of money making it a little bit nicer. And also the downstairs balcony, I don't know if I filmed that or not, but there is a picture of it at the end anyway if I didn't. The downstairs balcony looks really nice when it's finished. I had some extra, I put railings on all of them, but then I had these privacy screens to this one, and yeah, it looks like they've spent the money on it. It's well cared for, and yeah, so each build is very individual, and I like that. I like the fact that there's that contrast between them, and they've all tried to make them different uses of the spaces that they've got. So yeah, this office, like I say, it does change. I love this spider wallpaper, the spider webs, but I didn't feel like it fit with the rest of the property, and that was the only reason I didn't stick to keeping that, because I actually really loved it, and I think that mat goes really well with it, the rug under the desk, because it's got that bright blue that's in the web design. So I would use that in another bit. I've never used it, I've never seen that swatch before, but I would use it again. I did decide to go black and white on the outside tiles because I thought it fitted better with other items. Like the blue is quite nice, I do like the blue, but I just think once you add other decorations onto that, it can look a bit too busy. So I went with the black and white. It's a little bit easier to decorate if you've got that. So yeah, that's why I changed excuse me, sorry. That's why I changed the colour of the tiles outside. But I do like the blue, maybe for a different build than this, but I think the black and white suits this one more. So as I say, the office changed so many times, and I ended up going for this quite a bold colour, but I thought, well, they've got some of this colour in the living room, so maybe it wasn't as outlandish as it could look. And also with all the white decorations or plain decorations, I think it looks like it all fits together, because you've got white goes with anything. So yeah, you've got all the white decorations, but then quite a bold colour, and the rest of the house is quite plain, so it's quite nice to have that little pop of colour in that room. I should have maybe added more colour into the kids' bedroom upstairs as well. I've gone quite bold on the furniture choices as well, like this bookshelf, instead of having a plain colour, I've gone with this 3-colour variant. I don't think I've ever used it, but actually it suits this build. So yeah, it's little details like that, like it looks like they've taken a project and then customised it. And I wish we had more furniture like that, where it had so many different options and or you could even change it yourself. I know we're never going to get a colour wheel, but just just more options where it looks like the Sims have customised it to suit their personality. So or even their other decorations. But yeah, I think that with the 3 colours on, it suits that idea that they've customised it. I went for a bed that just took up a little bit less room here. I only changed it just so that there's that extra bit of walkway, so you don't have that problem with the Sims saying, oh, can't get round there. I actually think that it would have fitted, but I just wanted that extra bit of walkway. I thought that bed went just as well as the other one, but it just gives you that bit more clearance just in case, because I know how tricky Sims can be not getting round spaces. So yeah, that was the only reason I changed that, because I did like the other bed. But that darker wall, I think, just finishes the room off. And then these little chairs and stuff out here, I just think it looks really pretty, the outside of this one. And I think you could add another couple of skill building items out here as well. The rug inside is actually a yoga mat, so they can do yoga in that walkway space. So it is usable, even though it looks like it's just a walkway rug, but it is another skill building item. So we're finally on to the second house in this row, and as I say, I've not filmed the third one, so hopefully we haven't got too much longer. But this is this is my favourite out of the 3. I'm really sorry. I'm just gonna have a little drink because I've got a frog in my throat. So yeah, this is the second of the 3, and this one is it's like they've done it up, but they've kept so many original features. And I'm thinking maybe the black was original. The other 2 houses have replaced theirs with newer windows, but this one's kept the original factory windows. And in my mind, that's where I was going with this one. But it's very open. It's like a mezzanine bedroom. It isn't a closed-in bedroom. And the reason I went for that is because I just thought in these industrial builds, I've seen them with the balconies over the top, and I thought if it's only for a single Sim, it could be a mezzanine bedroom. It wouldn't be an issue if you're living on your own. But yeah, with these huge walls, I've gone really modern with the concrete, but then I think with the exposed brick, it's kind of a contrast, because you've got like the old-fashioned brick, but then you've got the modern concrete. I think it works really well together. It really annoyed me that this window wasn't the same height as the door. I wish they was just the same height. Actually, if you look on the outside, it is. So this door just needs something on the inside to make it look a little bit higher. But I tried to hide the difference in height with some strip light, like the black strip lights, just to hide the difference. I know it's not exactly, but at least if you're looking from above, it looks like they're the same height. But yeah, it's just a really little bugbear of mine. Something about this kitchen, I love this kitchen. I want more counters that are wooden worktops, because I love the worktops on this counter set, but the underneath, like the drawers, they only fit in certain types of builds. Like, it looks industrial, it doesn't look like it would be in your typical house. But I love the wooden worktops, so if we could have counters that are like traditional cupboards but with the wooden worktops, that would be ideal. Like maybe black cupboards with the wooden counters. I would love some counters like that, because I think we've got so many with like the marble, the black or the white, but not many with the wood swatches, and I just think they look, that texture is probably one of my favourite. But the underneath of the counters is just, it's a very specific style, so it doesn't fit in as many builds, which limits how much you can use them, which is a shame because they are one of my favourite counters. But yeah, I just think they only really fit in either really modern or industrial type buildings. And if you had different style cabinets, they would fit in a lot more builds and be a lot more usable. So yeah, this is a very open plan kitchen, diner and living room. I know it's got the little bit of separation there, but it's very open. I think it would probably get a bit cold actually, because it's very, very, it's a huge space to heat. But obviously that isn't really something you have to think about in The Sims, but it's just something I did think about when I was decorating it. I've also added these little industrial touches, like the things on the wall. I didn't want to make it too symmetrical, so I did change one of them onto the other wall, but I've tried to make them a feature, and then I've added the air ducts, the pipe things on the ceiling. I've added them as well. I know they're not in the other ones, but maybe they could have taken them out, and this one, it's made a feature out of it. So I've kept them in there, and I love the look of it. I think it looks really like it's a renovation done well. They've used the features but not covered them up. They've kind of highlighted them, so where them beams are, it's a high ceiling, so it doesn't affect your living space, but you can see them, and it's a feature in the build. I do love this backsplash as well with the lights. I've gone with the orange tones just because a lot of it is orange tones in here, and I think it just highlights that. But I would love some flat wall decorations that you could use as like splashbacks, like maybe a plain like stainless steel picture, but you could use it as a cooker splashback if it's like the same width as the cooker, or even maybe some squares that you could put together to make your own splashback, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but yeah, just like flat pictures that are not sticking out of the wall, but it would look like you've tiled behind the cooker, because I think things like that, they just bring a build to life, and it looks more realistic, rather than having just the brick wall. I don't think you would have that behind a cooker. You would have a different type of material, so I would love some things like that. Onto the bathroom. I think the bathroom probably looks the most modern in this build. I have put exposed concrete in it. The gym equipment, sorry, just to change subject, but where I've put that bookshelf, the gym equipment was sticking through the wall, so I wanted something there that just covered it up. So I thought I'll make a little cubby hole and add a bookshelf, and it just hides that gym equipment that's sticking through there. Back to the bathroom. It's very monochrome, this one, but it's kind of modern with an industrial vibe. I like the bathtub, it looks traditional, but in this bathroom it's made a feature. It's like a feature of the bathroom, so I don't know, I think it's still got these modern elements. I think the concrete blocks look more, they fit more with the industrial vibe. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixture, this bathroom. Let me know what you think, but I've tried to make it seem, I don't know how to word it. I've tried to make it seem like it fits the rest of the build, whilst it's definitely a more modern part of the build than the rest of it. But I think that's the best way to explain it. But hopefully it does fit in. Like, I think the sink looks quite industrial, like maybe they've taken the sink that was there but upgraded it, because you've got obviously the metal poles and stuff on the sink. But I've really thought about each build and tried to think about how that person would use each area, and also if they're going for a certain aesthetic, trying to keep that throughout the build. I've added these cracks just to make it look like the building has been there a long time. And yeah, it's just like little details like this that I think add to the whole charm of the building. It is an old building, so I wanted to make a feature of the age of the building as well. So let me know what you think, but I really like this middle house. I think it is one of my favourites, and I do love this kind of style anyway. I love this industrial lived in style. I think it's just got this charm about it, and you've got these bigger open spaces, but each area is defined as well. So I'm a big fan of this kind of style, and I don't build in it very often. I think because we'll probably need a few more pieces that are this style or would fit with this style, just so that you can make each one different. I don't like to build in with the same objects all the time, so that's probably the reason I don't build that way too often. And again, this balcony is to suit the personality of the rest of the build, so I've gone with quite select pieces. Like the plant is low maintenance, or that's how I'm imagining it. The little table, it's got some greenery in it, but it's probably easy to maintain, or it's self-watering or something. The grill, very industrial looking, but then the chairs have got the green in, which complements the sofas on the inside. So it's definitely got its own little theme running through this one. Like the desk is green, the bed's got the red and orange are complementary. So yeah, it's got its own little theme of colours and styles in this house. So let me know which one's your favourite anyway. Is it the family home? Is it the industrial home? And if you do see the pictures, maybe the cosy kind of older style. It's got more of a cottagey style, but obviously on a bigger scale because it's not small. For the third one. So yeah, I think I will round it up there, because obviously my voice is starting to go a little bit. But I hope you've enjoyed this build, and if you want to see some more with the for rent pack, let me know. And as I say, I am going to vary the videos I do on here. I'm not just going to stick to Sims 4, because I just prefer a more varied gaming experience, and I just think it would be inauthentic to just stick to The Sims, because I do get tired of it if I'm just doing one. So yeah, that's the plan going forward. And I know we've got Life by You coming out in March, so I will be looking forward to getting some gameplay on that, and hopefully showing you some builds on there. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and a long wait for it, so it will not be as long next time. Alright, take care everyone. I will leave you with some music and some screenshots at the end. Have a good week, and I hope you're all having a good 2024 so far. Take care. Bye.